radio appearance sounded quite feisty.
Now, if you think I'm interested on a damn phone call with you over a radio and sitting here and throwing all the good out with the dishwater, you have got to be smoking something over there this morning. Your job isn't to let me go over all the reasons that I did something and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
Well, my job is to ask
y'all
why.
get a job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. You're not going to figure out what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, or any 5 or 10 like you, you need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
Jerry,
okay? Y'all really think you're going to sit here with a microphone and tell me all of the things that I've done wrong and without going over the rights?
I mean, what did he think he was going to get asked about on a Tuesday after the worst home loss in bajillion years? And so we sit here today hearing a feisty Jerry Jones. I mean, this is probably the least surprising thing I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, y'all want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah,
Of course we
please.
do.
Please.
Listen. I love Jerry Jones. I mean, I troll the Cowboys and the whole bit, and we know that, but I've got a personal relationship with the man. I got a lot of love for him. He has not done a good job. What he did this offseason has proven to be a dereliction of duty. You know you got to sign Dak Prescott. You know you got to sign CeeDee Lamb. We've heard that you're going to sign Micah Parsons.
Yep.
Okay? Derrick Henry is out there. He lives in Dallas in the offseason. He works out in Dallas. At the time, he's saying he wants to be a Cowboy.
Yep.
All he's going to cost you at the most is $8 million. You probably could have got him for $6 million because you're in a no-state income tax state that is Texas. Okay? You did not do that. You have no depth. You bring up Mike Zimmer. You switch from a 3-4 to a 4-3 defensively. You've got guys running 8, 9 yards before they're touched, okay? And you've got Super Bowl champions like Damian Woody literally calling you soft.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is football. This is a man's game. Y'all know this better than me. Y'all more men than I am when it comes to that damn stuff, okay? Because y'all played and I didn't. Everybody and their mother knew. You got to be physical. What was the problem with the Dallas Cowboys last year?
That's right.
They had athleticism, they had speed, they had talent. They didn't have girth, they didn't have physicality.
Yep.
You knew that and you let it regress and get worse this year? That's what happened. Now, when I sat down, because Shay talked about having Devontae Adams on Club Shay, well, I had Jerry Jones on the Stephen A. Smith show, okay? My YouTube show. Sat down with me for an hour and 15 minutes. And he said to me, Stephen A., we got people you haven't even seen yet. And that's why I didn't press him on that. When I was talking to him, he said, why didn't you press him on this? I said, because he's saying to me, yo, we got cats that we believe should have been playing last year. We looking forward to watching them this year. Wait and see. What you going to say to that? You going to say if somebody telling you wait to see because you haven't seen the talent yet.
Sure.
There's personnel we ain't put out there yet. Wait and see.
Yeah.
Well, now we've seen.
Right.
And so when you look at it from that standpoint, is he getting feisty? Is he ultra sensitive? Sure. But I'll be damned if I'm going to blame a radio host, knowing that on a weekly basis you signed up to go on that show.
That's right.
Knowing his job is to ask you those questions, and you're going to get on him and talk about, I'll get somebody else to ask the questions. Let me say this to Jerry Jones, and you know I love you. Jerry, come on, bro. You better than that.
Yep.
You better than that. That you are better than. You are somebody that has volunteered to go in front of the camera, in front of the microphone, based on what we heard, because I ain't hear the whole conversation.
Yeah.
Based on what we heard, that individual there did their job. You know what to expect after a debacle like that.
Yeah.
That's not about the radio host. That's not about a pundit or a member of the Fourth Estate. That is about your Dallas Cowboys being soft, being weak, being below average, playing in an unacceptable fashion, and them getting their ass kicked.
Yep.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4, the last 4 times in your billion-dollar playpen. That is what it's about.
Shannon, so the question, he asked him, you didn't make any moves in the offseason. He said, that's not your job. We know that. That's why we're asking you, Jerry, why you didn't make the moves, and then he turned it back on the radio host. What did you think about what Jerry Jones said?
To put a man in fear for his job. I hate, I detest, I despise someone that would prey on the weak. And because Jerry Jones is in an advantageous situation, because he has the power in this situation, he would actually say that publicly. That tells me a lot about a man. That'll tell me a lot about a man that has power and would abuse that power to tell that man, I will get somebody in here to ask me favorable questions. That is absolutely that guy's job, is to ask, Jerry, why didn't, Stephen A., what you should have done is said, well, Jerry, you see the way you guys were getting ran through last year? And you mean to tell me you had guys on the bench that could have done a better job, and you're waiting till this year to play them? That doesn't sound very smart to me. Well, I don't know about you, Saturday Swagoo, but normally guys that can play, they normally play. But back to this. What do you think his job was? See, Jerry wants all the credit when things go well, but none of the blame. He told us how many times, the buck stopped with me. Any deal that's ever happened, I either signed off on it or I got notified of it. Now you getting trounced. You getting run through like Sherman went through Atlanta during the Civil War, and now you want no part of it when they ask you about it. Boy, this is embarrassing. And I don't take this lightly. If the Cowboys don't win another playoff game or another game, as long as Jerry Jones is the owner, I'll be the happiest man in the world. For that man to put that man in fear for his job. Now, you know moving forward, Saturday Swagoo Stephen A., you know he's not going to ask him anything tough because that man needs that job. And for Jerry to say this publicly and say, I'm not laughing, I'm not joking, I'm out. I'm out, I'm out, I'm out.
It's fair.
That's fair.
It's fair.
Shannon, Stephen A., you mentioned it. Shay just went over it, and I completely agree. That to me, the interview didn't matter at that point. When that part of it about I have somebody else ask me questions, the interview didn't matter. And I'm gonna go to another side of it because Shay, you hit that perfectly. It's an admission of guilt. It's an admission of you've done the wrong thing, and because of that, this team is where they are. Listen, everybody knows I'm a Cowboy fan. Everybody knows that I think Jerry actually wants to win. Everybody also knows that I think the best path forward for the Cowboys to win is for Jerry to get his ass out the way. Mm-hmm. That has been my stance. I have never in 1 minute doubted that Jerry Jones wants to win a Super Bowl. If people doubt that, as far as his emotion, he wants to win a Super Bowl. But he don't want to win it based on what he does on a day-to-day basis.
That's right.
We went into this offseason, and I've been saying this, and you know this, Jeff, and you know this, Stephen A. I've been on this for 2 to 3 years. I didn't think the roster was good enough when they was winning 12 games. Mm-hmm. And you got worse in the offseason. We've looked at move after move after move be made by teams that have consistently been in NFC championships and Super Bowls. I'm not saying they've supplemented their whole team through free agency, but we know what the moves look like. We are not idiots to think that signing Derrick Henry is not going to make you a better football team when you need a running back.
Amen.
Nobody's idiotic enough to think that you should have had a conversation with one of the best running backs to ever play football.
Yeah.
Coming off a season of success. But then you go into defense mode because now you're admitting that I made a mistake and I've done a horrible job in this particular offseason putting this team together. And that is where you are.
The problem for me isn't he was in defense mode. He's in bully mode, right? It's in
both of them.
Yeah. He's trying to bully people because he's pissed off at himself and what he tried to do. And I'm with you on this, Shay. Shane, this is ridiculous. Get there and threaten a man's job. GM Jerry has failed owner Jerry, but he wants to play both roles, and he wants to get on a radio station and go blast a guy that he's accountable to go talk to because that's the role of the general manager to go do. And by the way, everybody said from the beginning of the season, the way this team was built, they were not built for long-term success this season. But
Oh,